Hey everyone, this YouTube video is for just in case you get stuck with the tutorial that we're completing in class, or if you're completing this from home and you happen to have Photoshop at home. So please make sure that while you're watching this video that you follow along with me. Don't just watch the video and that's it. Make sure that you're stopping and starting it and that you are completing the tasks as I do. So when you open Photoshop, you might have this pop up. Get rid of that. And then you should have something that looks like this, perhaps minus these things that are down here. What we are going to do, I'm just going to move that out of my way. You might be able to see it, you might not. What we are going to do is we're going to go new file. Every time that you create a new Photoshop document, do make sure that you create a new file and then copy your images into it, all right? Rather than just opening the photo image, all right? Because otherwise, funky things can happen to your Photoshop file, essentially. So what we're going to do once we're here, we're going to select centimeters. We are going to make our page size or image size 30 by 30 centimeters. We always want to make sure our resolution is at 300 so that then it can be as clear as possible. RGB color mode, because we will be printing our tutorials hopefully, so then we can put them up on the wall. And then we definitely want to have a white background. Depending on what it is that you're doing, you could also choose other colors, or transparent is another popular one. Once we've done all of that, then we can go create, and you should have something that looks like so on my screen. Maybe the layout is slightly different because I am using my laptop and not a desktop. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to go File, Open. And hopefully you have downloaded some images off of Daymap. Those images, let me just find where my folder is. Those images should consist of a pizza base, okay? I've got a bunch of other stuff in here as well. You should also have a tablecloth. If you can, select one of those and then go Control. And then we'll select the pizza base as well, so that then we can see that both of them are selected. And then let's open. What you'll find is it will open some extra tabs up here for you. Okay, so we've got our tablecloth, we've got our pizza base, and we have our untitled Photoshop file. By the way, I'm going to go in and I'm going to go and save my Photoshop file right now. I'm going to go save on my computer, and I'll click the Don't Show Again. Then I will save it in the folder that I am working in. For you, this will be on your H drive, making sure that you've created a folder that says graphic design in it and save it within that. Maybe even call your folder Photoshop tutorials, just like I have, all right? And then we're going to call it Pizza Photoshop Tutorial. For me, I'm going to go 1 because you can see I've got a few others there. Okay, now that I've got that, all right, we're going to transfer first the pizza base into our file. So the way that we're going to do that, we're going to make sure that we're on the, I forget what this is called. I call it the selection tool, but the move tool, okay? And we're going to click and drag our image. We might need to go over here to our layer and unlock that really quickly. So if you double click on that, there was a lock there, okay? Now we're with our move tool, we can click and drag. We're going to place here, I haven't let go of my mouse. I'm still dragging until I see this, and then I'm gonna let go, okay? Here is my image. Now, we can see that my image is quite small. That might indicate that your picture is too small, too little pixels for the space that we have created. We'll blow it up and we'll see what happens. So what we're going to do is we're going to press Control and T, okay, to get these outlines. And then we're going to resize. Do not hold Shift when you are using Photoshop. Do not hold Shift. Other programs it's slightly different, but in Photoshop, if you hold Shift, then you'll get this. We don't want that, okay? So I'm going to resize and I'm going to resize until not quite at the edges, close but not quite, maybe something like that. Okay, and then I'm going to press the tick. It might appear a little bit blurry here, that's okay, press the tick and we can see that it is fine. Okay, so you just want to check and you want to make sure that your image isn't too blurry. What we're going to do now is we're going to go over here to our layers. Okay, so here we have our first layer, which is our pizza. Let's rename that. Base it is. And then we have our background layer. Now, all I need you to be aware of with your layers at the moment, I'm going to tell you more later, all I need you to be aware of at the moment is anything that is higher is going to be on top of your page and anything that is lower is going to be underneath. So say, for example, if I move the background up higher, you can only see the background, which is that white layer. Don't do that, but I'm just showing you for an example, okay? All right, ignore what I'm doing. Make sure that you've got the layer that you're working on at that current point in time also selected as well. That is very important, okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to find the quick selection tool and we're going to see if we can get rid of this pizza box paper cutout, okay? So then we just have the circular pizza. So we're going to go over here and it might say object selection. All of these items here are our tools, okay? They are the things that you're going to probably be using most often, okay? You can find extra tools under here, okay, if you can't find what you're looking for. This panel here will always give you other options for your tool that you're using at that moment, and they will change constantly depending on which one of these you have selected. And here's some other things that you can work with too. All right, so we're going to, underneath all of your tools, if it's got an arrow here like that, all right, then that means that there's tools underneath it. So if we right click, we can find what is called the quick selection tool, which is what we're looking for, okay? With the quick selection tool selected, let me just confirm that that did that. My Photoshop seems to be lagging. Then we are going to select just our base, like I said beforehand. Oh, and my Photoshop is still being a bit dodgy. Okay, so once you've got your quick selection tool selected, you should have some circular thing that looks like that, all right? You can change the size of it up here. Like I said, functions that help you with the tools up here, all right? We also have, that's a bit better, we also have, at the moment, we have our plus selection tool selected, okay? But if you select too much, you can press the minus, or alternatively, I'm pretty sure, oh, that's exciting. It is, yeah, Alt. If you press Alt on your keyboard, you can see that I'm pressing Alt and it is changing it backwards and forwards, or it should be. My Photoshop again is lagging. All right, so if I click and select around here, what it's doing is it is being quite clever and it kind of knows what colors I'm aiming to capture. It won't be absolutely perfect, like you can see it missed out a little bit of the pizza there, all right, and then it's gone and it's selected the entire cardboard box in that corner. I'll fix that up later, all right. With this tool, it's important, it's a bit of a like to and fro, backwards and forwards kind of thing, and it's selected too much up there as well. So remember, we hold Alt or we select up here the minus, and we minus the selection that we that it's been clever enough to have selected. Make sure that you get rid of those dotted jagged lines around here, all right? So you can see that there's still a dotted jagged line around this corner here. That means that I need to deselect that, otherwise I'm selecting that part of the cardboard box. And then we still have bits of our pizza that need to come back and we need to grab again. For now though, that's a basic selection. I'm fairly happy with that. I know there's a couple of bits that I need to touch up, but that is okay. Once you've got the basic selection down, doesn't have to be perfect, then we're going to go up here to select and mask where we can improve it 110%. Okay, so this helps us to get all of the nitty-gritty details. What we're going to do from here, I really like to change my view to overlay view. What this does is it changes the background that you are trying to mask out to red, and then you can see your like details that you have selected are in full color. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom in by pressing Ctrl+. Okay, so what I just experienced was my computer lagging. I found that my Control Plus should work for you, but it wasn't working for me. If, like you, it's like me, sorry, it's not working. I went to the Zoom button over here and I just clicked and dragged. Okay, the idea with Control Plus is it makes it a lot easier and you don't have to select another tool. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my quick selection tool again, okay? And I'm going to see if I can get those added details. Now I'm making sure that I'm on my plus selection and I'm going to increase my size again so that then it's about there. And we're going to select the bits that it forgot. I don't want that cheese crust that's there. That's okay. I definitely want this cheese crust though. And we've gone too far. I'm going to hold Alt and I'm going to get rid of that again. And I'll get rid of that little bit there too. All right, that looks good. I'm happy and I don't care, Trend Micro. I'm going to go down. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to start this part here. You can see that it is a slow process. Like with normal art, good things take time. Okay, happy. Maybe I want to deselect just a little bit. And it went too far. Can it be frustrating? Not gonna lie to you. Yep, absolutely. Okay. What I want you to imagine, because I'm not going to go around and do all of this, what I want you to imagine is that I have done my pizza perfectly. So everything is as it should be. Everything's selected just right. Okay, there's no errors around there, like this. See, the trouble is I'm a perfectionist and I don't want to leave it undone. Okay, imagine that everything's perfect. You can see that I would go around and I'd get rid of this cardboard box here. That's the shadow that it's picked up and thinks that is a pizza. Same with here. All right, and there's also part of the pizza that I've missed out here as well. But imagine that it is done, okay? By the way, I pressed Control minus and it worked just then, okay? Control minus is to zoom out, or to see the whole screen, it is Control 0, okay? Once I've done that and I'm happy, then I'm going to come over to this panel over here and I'm going to just change a couple of my settings, okay? These settings here allow you to adjust how smooth your edges are or not smooth. I don't know whether that changed because of my slow computer that I have here, but that's fine. All right, you can play with those. The real one that we really want to check out is this output setting. Now, at the moment, the output is to just a selection. So if we pressed OK right now, it would just give us some dotted lines. We don't want that. What we are after, because we've made this selection, we want to create a new layer with a layer mask. What this will do is it will put the pizza on a new layer in our Photoshop, which was sitting about here, and it will also get rid of the white background, okay? And the idea is that we shouldn't have this line here. That should be masked out so we can see that I didn't do a good enough job, okay? And we should have a crisp pizza, which we also don't have because Miss Dawson didn't do a good enough job of. However, if you come over here, what we have is our original pizza layer, okay? So if I click the eye there, then we can see the background again. We don't need to see that though, so we'll click the eye to unsee it, okay? Then we can see this one here, which is what we're seeing at the moment, all right? We have the pizza image, okay? And then we have this layer mask. This layer mask is what we call non-destructive editing, which will mean that instead of using something like the eraser, I don't even know where it is. There it is. Okay, instead of using the eraser tool to erase the background and it taking forever and you can never undo it, this instead allows us anything that is white is seen, okay, and anything that is black is masked over. And the beauty of this, if you've stuffed up like me, all right, then you can right click on that layer mask and you can go select and mask just as we did up here. All right, and it will take you back into that same panel that we saw beforehand, and you can keep editing, changing, fixing until your layer mask is perfect, okay? I'm going to go cancel. All right. So that's what our pizza base looks like. Now I think if this was perfect, so if I'd gone back in and I'd done my selection again, I would add in the tablecloths. Okay. Now, question, ask yourself, do you remember how to copy and paste this image into our Photoshop pizza tutorial? Hopefully, we can see that I've already done the first thing. All right, so I've selected the move tool. Then I'm going to click and drag. Oh, we can see that it's not dragging though. Okay, I'm trying, but it's not working. That is because this is going to tell us the layer is locked. Okay, so I need to unlock that layer. Then I need to click and drag. And I'm going to place on there. Okay, now this is going to be the base of our table. If you would like to choose a different table base, you are welcome to. All right. Then from there, we're going to go Control T to make it bigger. We're going to resize it. It's okay if it goes over. All right. We just don't want white space around the edges. Then once we're happy, we're going to go the tick and we're going to make sure it's not too pixelated, which it's not. Now, I lost all of my work that I just did. I've lost my pizza base. That is because the tablecloth is on top of the pizza base. So I just want to click and drag it so that then it's underneath. And there we go. Voila. Okay. Once you've done that and it's all tidy, then you're going to start to add toppings. Okay. On Daymap, you would also have found that if we go File, Open, there are some toppings on Daymap. I would like you to start with the pepperoni. Okay, I've got 2 images. I suggest you copy and select and mask your pepperoni from either of these, and you'd select just 1 or 2 pepperoni slices, not the entire thing, obviously. Okay, because no one wants that much pepperoni on their pizza. Yeah. Then I've also got some Swiss cheese. I've also got some Rabitan fruit, okay? So what I want you to do is slowly increase your difficulty, all right? And I also want you to resize things as you go as well. Really quickly, I'm going to open up the pepperoni and we are going to unlock the layer, click and drag and place, and we've got it underneath. So I'm going to click and drag it above and I've made sure that that layer is selected. I'm going my quick selection tool. I'm going to do this one, and I think I'll also do this one as well. So we'll have 2. Mostly okay. Select and mask. Yep. I think I'm pretty well happy with that. If you can't see it because it's red on red, I'm going to change it to something that's slightly different for you. I'm happy with that. That's fine. I don't need to do any editing. I'm going to go Selection, New Layer and Layer Mask. Okay. All right. There it is. Now, my pepperoni at the moment is too big. So, again, to resize an image, Control T. Then I'm not holding Shift. All right. And I'm making it bigger or smaller. I think that is the perfect size because obviously this is a massive pizza. All right. Now, to copy an image in Photoshop, make sure that your layer is selected. Control C. Click off to the side somewhere. Control V to paste. I'll say it again. Control C to copy. Control V to paste. All right. All right. Now I have 5 pepperoni. I'm going to place them randomly. Now that's where like at the moment this looks a bit boring because they're the same, okay? So what I might want to do is I might want to just copy just 1 slice, all right? Or I might want to open up that other image so that then you have different looking pepperoni. Another way that you can create different looking pepperoni is if you go Control T again to resize. If you hold and hover off to the side, we have these arrows. You can rotate your image and then obviously you can make it bigger or smaller so that then you have slightly like varied different like images that you are working with, okay? So I suggest you change things up so it doesn't look so boring. Okay, come back over to our layers here again. Let's change our names of our layers. Okay, this one is forgot to do it with my tablecloth as well. By the way, guys, I am double clicking to change my layers. I might even make this base background layer. Alright. I'm going to copy that so that you don't have to write that in every time. Okay, so I've got my 5 layers. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can see more of my layers. Okay, if I click and hold shift, then it selects multiples. All right, if I right click, come on Photoshop. This should be easy. If I right click, there we go. I was getting an email. If I right click, it's still not working for me. There should be a spot where it says group layers. Okay, let me try if I go over here. No, it's not there. Find where it says group layers and click on group layers. Okay, obviously my computer's not working at the moment for me. Let me try one more time. Nope. Okay, all right. I'm going to leave it there. What I want to see is this pizza base full of different toppings. You can take it as weird as you want, all right? Or you can be take a more like normal approach. It's totally up to you. So I'm sharing this PowerPoint that I'm almost finished. Here, for example, we've got gummy bears and we've got daisies on there as well as the pepperoni, okay? So be as crazy or as simple as you would like, and I will tell you some extra tips and tricks as we move on, but this is just the basics. All right, thanks guys.